Sebastian Fundora disposes of Keith Thurman inside of 6 rounds as he retains his WBC Junior Middleweight Championship. From the onset, Sebastian Fundora just controlled the fight, and he's using his jab much of the time now to predicate his offense. That was something that I feel was missing from his toolbox, so to speak, because a lot of the times where he was, dropped and knocked out is he would get himself into these firefights unnecessarily. Right from the beginning of the fight, he was pumping the jab, and making Keith Thurman think. And for the most part, Keith Thurman was on, trying to circle around and trying to figure out a way to get inside, because that's ultimately the best approach he could have taken. Unfortunately, he didn't fight much like that, and he was really getting picked apart. And even in the times when he did try to get inside, and he did land some shots, and he just really didn't have that much of an effect on Fundora, who much of us still, kind of question, like, how strong is your beard? Though he did take some shots from Tim Tszyu in the second fight, in which he stopped Tim Tszyu. The thing that I got out of this fight, though, when it concerns Fundora, is the fact that, look, he's learning on the job. He is somebody that is starting to get better in every fight. And granted, Keith Thurman was not the most active guy. I think he had like 2 fights in the last 5 years. And you could clearly see every single shot that Fundora landed on him had an effect. So when we talk about the punching power, the punch placement, these are things that are starting to progress in, again, Fundora's toolbox. Though I will say his head is still in that center line, which, is a no-no in boxing. And it's why he got hit several times in this fight. But you start to wonder, like, what a fight with of the winner of Boots and Xander, Josh Kelly, of Virgil Ortiz. And again, you have Errol Spence that's about to fight the winner. If Tim Tszyu wins, that's going to be a fight that's going to happen. And does the winner of that present themselves over to Fundora? And honestly, can either one of those guys at this stage of their careers be able to beat Fundora where he's at right now? Now, for Keith Thurman, I don't think he's going to retire, but I'll tell you, the ref saved him, because I think if this had gone another round or two, none of us want to see people go to the hospital. None of us want to see permanent damage happen to a fighter, but it's obvious that Keith Thurman took arguably the worst beating of his career inside of 6 rounds. So it concerns Fundora. We have to wait and see what the options are going forward at this point, because the way it looks, the division is slowly becoming consolidated, and at some point he's got to get in there with the likes of those names, much more so than other fighters that have been 3 years inactive, that haven't, are not at their best anymore. We need to see him in there with his elite contemporaries, which are those names I just mentioned. So let me know who you want to see Sebastian Fundora fight next. And should Keith Thurman ultimately consider retirement, though chances are he's probably not going to retire just yet?